Good morrow, everyone. This is CedLove with his Devil's Advocate podcast. Hope you're having a good day. And if not, hope tomorrow goes better. You all, we live in a very dangerous world. Why is the world dangerous? Burgers. All burgers. Beef burgers, turkey burgers. Have you eaten a burger? Delicious. Have you seen an episode of SpongeBob? It is a scientific fact. When you eat burgers, it goes straight to your hips. Squidward can attest to it. But we're not talking about burgers, even though they're so good. I've had a burger so long, they're so good. But we're not talking about burgers today. We're talking about guns. We are talking about human rights. Well, we're not really talking about rights. Well, we're talking about rights, but we're talking about guns in general. But the right to bear arms. To a degree, we're talking about that. Anyway, guns. There's right to bear arms. People take that a little too serious. So again, we're talking about guns. So why are we talking about guns today? Real talk? Not sure if y'all know my process, but throughout the week, I just jot down a few things just like, hey, I could talk about this during, my podcast. And if I don't talk about it, this week, I could talk about it, somewhere down the road. So anything that's like very specific for the week, I try to talk about that. If not, if it's generic, I'll save for later on. So I, took down a few things about guns. And legitly, every time I wrote down something, I feel like new stuff just kept popping up. So again, either a story happened, or maybe I was listening to a podcast, or maybe just listening to somebody like at work. Just something happened that like triggered my mind. Ooh, that has something to do with guns. So a few things happened just in this week that just kept talking about guns. I'm like, I gotta talk about guns. So if you have not been living under a rock, or maybe you just don't have access to like all the news, we have a story of a 6-year-old shooting his teacher. And people, I am not talking about with a rubber band. We are talking about with a gun. A 6-year-old bought a gun to the school, pulled out that Glock. Hey, what's up, Miss Jenkins? Pow! Shot her. Teacher is alive, which is good. But, a 6-year-old bought a gun to the school. People, when I tell you, when I first heard that, I thought it was like a typo. I thought it was like a kid brought like a water gun, a toy gun, a Nerf gun. Nope. He bought that Glock. Bow. People, when I tell you this is the most Americanized story in the world, you don't hear about this stuff in India, Europe, Australia. You hear it in America. A 6-year-old got a hold of a gun, put it in his backpack. It was either on the bus that he was dropped off, but somehow he made it to school. Did not walk past a metal detector, which those exist. Schools have metal detectors, and this is the reason they have them. He was in class, and he's first grade, so there's no first period, second period. He's in class, might have PE, might have lunch, but he's in class all day with this one teacher. She say the wrong thing, bow! Y'all, when I tell you that was my son, I wouldn't even know what to do. Like being angry, there's no words you could say for this. Like, really? Now, if my child was in the classroom, again, there might have been some words I could say to the kid, to the parent. Yo, teacher, I got you, bro. I got you covered. You need some weapons? I got you, homie. I know a brother. We can find it. I got you. Yo, a teacher got shot by a 6-year-old. This is crazy. And in Virginia, of all the states, Virginia, this ain't Texas, Alabama, Mississippi. Gotta represent my state. Virginia! How the heck that happened? Yo, that is wild. So, with that topic on gun and, 6-year-old shooting teachers, I'm gonna give you like a brief history on my experience with guns. I've only shot guns once or twice. Not a fan. But the first time I ever seen a gun being shot, and at this point, I don't think he can get in trouble for this, so I'm gonna talk about it now. I was with my father. He's a hunting man, hunt rabbit, hunt deer, probably hunt other things, but I've only seen those two. Seen him shoot a dog. I've seen him shoot a dog, but this is before. We were driving down the road. For some strange reason, with his bird-like eyes, he saw a deer in the distance. He pulled over. He went to the back of his, flatbed truck, opened up a trunk, or a chest, I guess, pulled out his rifle, walked about 20 feet to this little barbed wire fence, aimed that gun, but then somehow he kind of knew a car was coming, so he kind of like put the gun Y'all had to be there. He put the gun in an angle where it's like you think he's trying to hold a tree, but he's not holding a tree. Like the gun is like camouflaged by a tree. The car that drove by was a cop, and I was just thinking, wait, you're a cop. Why are you scared of cops? Later on, I realized, oh, you're about to shoot a deer illegally. Okay. So he takes the gun, he aims it again. You see that deer, and I tell you, when I tell you time just slowed down and stopped, and now you heard was dead deer. Now I will say, he took the deer, put it on a truck, we took it to the barn, he skinned that deer, we ate that deer that night. That deer was delicious. Tastes like chicken. But when I tell you, I kind of felt, ooh, power, like, ooh, we got control. Now I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna say a year or 2 years later, at the barn, there was like a random dog that was just going around, I guess, killing chickens. My dad again went to his car or his truck, went to that Chester, got that gun, aimed for that dog. Time just slowed down. Dog didn't die, but you know, when we went to that direction to see where the dog was, we saw the blood trail. Now, I don't know if they said or if I said it, but we saw like stuff on the ground. Either one, he got a chunk of that dog butt because there was just like little chunky stuff on the ground, or he shot the dog and the dog crapped itself. Either way, he got that dog and there was blood and there was chunks of something on the ground. And again, I felt power. So at this point, as y'all can see, there's a trend. There's really only one person I've experienced guns with. Went hunting with my dad. We was in the thickers. Like when I tell you we was in the thick bush, 12 degrees. When I tell you I was not properly dressed for this, I was just freezing. I'm trying not to complain because I don't really hang out with my dad a lot. But at the same time, like, bro, I'm cold. I'm not properly dressed. You have boots on with camouflage. I got Nike shoes on with a Spider-Man shirt. I'm not dressed properly for this. I got a certain point, like he kind of left me, not badly, but you know, he went a direction. I'm kind of slow following behind him. When I finally got to him, he said, Sid, because he don't call me CJ. My family call me CJ. He called me Sid. He said, look right there. I was looking. Next thing you know, the gun, not in my face, but kind of with my peripherals. And I was like, oh, he's finna shoot something. Next thing you know, a little rabbit came out. He shot the rabbit. He said, Sid, go get the rabbit. And I was like, huh? Go get the rabbit. I'm like, I guess I'm going to get the rabbit. Got the rabbit, put in his backpack. He said, Sid, watch this. I was like, what? He aimed at the same spot. All of a sudden, a rabbit showed up. Like, what? So again, power. Then a couple years ago, hanging out with my fiance's family. This time, instead of me watching people shoot guns, they give me the gun. When I tell you I had a pistol and an assault rifle, I had the assault rifle first. When I tell you, I had the pistol. Real talk, I'm not a fan of guns. I think the experience I had when I was with my father, which, long story short, didn't really grow up with my father, so every chance I get to hang out with him, you know, it was like bliss to me. It's like, oh, snap. Daddy, Papa Doc, my father. You know, I enjoyed it. So when I see him see the gun, my dad's cool. What your dad does? My dad's a teacher. My dad shoot dogs in the butt. What? You can't compete with that. It was cool watching him shoot guns. When I get a gun in my hand, not a fan. I do not like it. I'm going to say this right now. I do not like guns. I can't even think of like an appropriate time to have a gun. Because if you're in a situation where somebody breaks into your house and you like, I need a gun to defend myself, it's like, do you know? Because like whatever you can defend yourself with, the person, well, I guess the person you're defending yourself with could also have a gun. So if I got a gun and they got a gun, again, the chance of one of us dying or both of us dying is high. Obviously, you know, if you're like in the forest for some strange reason, you know, hiking, now all of a sudden you get attacked by like a wildebeest or like a lion or a hippo. Hippos are dangerous, people. Like, very dangerous. You want to shoot that? Okay, I can see that. They ain't got no gun, you got a gun, I can see it. But human to human, there's really no point in guns. And like, obviously we got the army and stuff. Again, we don't want war. We want peace. So I don't really like guns. I don't see the point. Now, again, policemen. Obviously, policemen have abused their power. Policemen, if they're like at the mall, I'm just going with the mall, and there's some dude who's going to like just going around slicing people up. He literally just running like slice, run, slice, run, slice. You know, you really shouldn't shoot him. But at certain points, if you got like an old lady and you got the knife by their neck and you're like, if anybody take a step closer to me, I'm going to slit her throat. Obviously, take the shot. Like, I can see the point of guns for that. But on the overall scheme, peaceful world, we should have guns. Again, right to bear arms all day. Right to bear. If you can be responsible with it, right to bear arms. But I don't really like guns, and I don't really want to hold a gun. I don't want to be near a gun. If I know somebody who's like, oh, I'm strapped up right now, I'm probably gonna, exit. Like, if I'm at the club and somehow my friend, not saying any of my friends do it, but somehow my friend manages to get past the bouncer with a gun, oh no. If he lets me know, hey said, check it out. Check what I'm strapped with. Check, please. We out. I ain't got time for it. I ain't got time for the drama. I ain't got time for the issue. Because here's the thing. Even though you might not threaten to shoot me, somebody might get your gun. Your gun might fall, might ricochet. Or shoot, maybe I might get happy trigger. I'm not saying I will, but you just never know. I watch too many movies. You just never know, and I ain't got the time for it. So as a child, dad with guns, power! When I have the power in my self-shooting, no, not a fan. Not a fan. So with that, I heard a brief podcast this week where a girl said she was dating a dude, everything was going smoothly, dating about a month. After a month, he broke up with her. One thing led to another, she's confused, she's trying to figure out why did he break up with me. Turns out, he found out she owns a gun. And for him, that was a deal breaker. To each his own, Me, Cedric Love, father who owns guns. I'm not going to disown my dad. I mean, some people will, but I won't. But would I date an individual who had a gun? I'm going to say this. If you own one gun at your house in a safe, yeah, I can probably make that work. Hey, love's love. Push past it. I'm cool with that. But if every time we on a date, you strapped up, couldn't do it. Could not do it. Same with my friend. If I had a friend and he was strapped up, couldn't do it. You would be my friend in theory, but not in action. We could not hang out like that. Couldn't do it. So the other logic of it, or I guess question of it, would I have a gun in my house? Now again, by myself, no guns. I do not want guns in my house. I don't want it in the safe. I don't want it in the basement. I told you, the girl I was dating, if she has a gun at her house, meaning I will myself have to walk in her house and know the gun is there, that's one thing. Years later, if we get married, I feel like I'll probably be better with it because I've been dating you for 4 or 5 years with the gun. Now that we get married, yes. So when I marry you, I married your family, I married your debt, I married your revolver. So I understand the gun is coming with the situation. I got it covered. But if I'm with somebody, they had no gun their whole life, now all of a sudden they feel threatened. They're like, hey, I want a gun house. Nope. Again, this is not a divorce conversation, but that is a serious, long talk. That is therapy. I don't want a gun in my house. Why you want a gun in my house? Don't bring a gun in my house. Don't have a gun in my house. I'm just saying, so we go back to the story I said at the beginning of the 6-year-old who shot his teacher. Where do you think he got the gun from? Now again, America, you just never know. But of the story that you can read online, which I will post one of the links in the description, he got the gun from his mama. Now, obviously, he didn't go to her and say, hey, mom, for lunch, can I get apple juice? Can I get some snacks? Also, can I get your pistol? It wasn't like that. But whatever way he did, he got the gun, and it was hers. So, 1, negligence of the mom. Lock up the gun. 2, son, what the heck? You playing way too much Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. Don't be bringing guns to school. 3, to actually have the whatever the word is, the arthrol, the gall. That's a fancy word, but I'm going to go with the gall. To point the gun at your teacher and shoot her. No. Bad child. Bad mama. Bad America. Bad everybody. Bad. Y'all, guns are nothing to play with. It's not the same thing, but it's kind of the same thing. Cars. I don't get why people be speeding with cars, especially in these small neighborhoods. You do know if you accidentally slip your foot off the pedal or if you just happen to sneeze, close your eyes, you can hit, people don't understand. If something has the ability to kill somebody, take precaution. I'm not even talking about the little kid because he's 6 years old. His mind ain't developed like that yet. But these men, I'm finna be sexist. These men, especially in Atlanta, who get in these altercations and they, instead of want to fight, or use their words. But, even I might just fight, like, instead of trying to fight, they want to shoot. They want to shoot first. Like, yo, no, don't shoot first. Don't even shoot last. Stay to shooting for the shooting range. And even the shooting range, proper precaution. Put your goggles on. When somebody say, I'm shooting, pop, 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 pop. I'm done shooting. Precaution. Bruh, yeah, right to bear arms mean with a proper understanding of, common sense, you're allowed to own a gun. In self-defense, meaning somebody has to literally be going out their way to be intentionally trying to hurt you badly or somebody you love. All right, you pop, pop. But don't be like, hey, man, I don't like it. You gave me an F in math last week. Pop, pop. No. And this is not something I'm going to try to fight. I would definitely not try to walk down Congress or try to create a bill to get rid of guns. Again, right to bear arms. I know a lot of responsible people with guns, but there are a lot of bad apples that are making it bad for the rest of them. So with that, 6-year-old, bad. Again, my experience with guns with my dad, cool. Me, myself, not really the biggest fan of. Would I date somebody with a gun? Again, she properly got that thing locked up somewhere in the house, sure. But she bring it around? No. And gun in my house? As of right now, no. I can't see a true blue scenario of me having a gun in my physical house. And if I do, like, something must have happened, or like my boo thing just, she got the good on, so you got the good. But no guns. So yes, this is a very interesting podcast because guns has never been a strong topic for me growing up, but I feel like in the last couple years it's been on my mind a lot lately. And again, for this story that just came out recently and these other things that came out this past week, it's like, oh, gotta talk about guns. So with that, this episode is sponsored by Bulletproof Vest. You might need one. You're probably gonna need one. It's gonna be buy one, get 3 free at Walmart. But real talk, guns are dangerous. Either way, that was the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. This has been CedLove with the Devil's Advocate Podcast. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. So, with that, this episode is sponsored by Bulletproof Vest. Cause guess what? Gucci gonna be